All right, anyway, this occurred a long, long time ago when I was 11, and that was in the summer of 1960. We always hung out in the woods, and I went by myself where the little stream was right in front of me. And I looked up the path, which was clear, and I saw him. I was frozen in position, and if you've ever had that, you know what I'm talking about. The guesstimated height, I went back years later and measured the tree, because the tree is still there. It's only about that tall.
Man.
And he stood there. And he stood there with his hands up like this, which I interpret years later as non-threatening. No hair on the hands, hair here, short hair, color similar to hers, a little redder though. Large arms, a large chest, just a big, whatever it was, human-like thing. And it had hair here, you know, wherever, just like you would have hair. And was it a boy? Yeah. Fingers would have been another 2 inches longer, and you can see from the back how the fingernails would come around a little bit, not like claws. The feet were very clear, both feet very large, probably a size 18 if there is such a size. And you can see the toenails. It had 5 toes, it had 5 fingers in each hand. It was the same as a human, and you said, is it a bear? No. Bears have snouts. This had a face. Its eyes, brown eyes stared at me. Large nose. Mouth, huge mouth. Didn't open it. And there are other sightings in that region. There are other sightings of similar things throughout the South.
My name is Wendell Brockway. I'm talking about a thing that happened to me in 1958. And we went by it, and as we was going by it, I looked over to the left, and I seen this big white thing standing up yelling. And it made my hair on the back of my neck stand up. And my brother-in-law was driving, and he looked over at me and he said, "Wendell, you see that?" And I said, "Yeah, I seen it." I said, "What was it?" He said, "I don't know, Wendell, but it's something." I said, "Well, turn around, let's go back and look at it." And that thing was still out there. And he was shaking his hands up and down. And he was white, had them long hairs on his arms and body. I told my wife about it, and my sister, but they didn't believe me. But I actually seen it. And James Fred Taylor was my brother-in-law. And if he was still alive, he could tell the same story. But that was back in 1958. I'm glad to be able to tell the story about it. That's all of it.
And now we come to a sort of conclusion on my thoughts of this creature, my personal view. And I have to say, what rekindled my interest, my higher interest in Bigfoot, was an account I heard years back when I was getting a tattoo. This tattoo, I believe, took 5 hours total, so we had a break and everything. And we were just chatting, and this guy, level of mind, I think my age now, about in his mid-30s or so, he told me of an account that they experienced, and he had absolutely no reason to lie to me, and it's not like we were talking about weird stuff to begin with. It just came up, as these things do often with me, and he told me about a situation where he was out in sort of, middle of nowhere, far into the mountains where there's not many people. I would say no people, but people would argue. So, where they're very scarce. I forgot if he was with someone or alone. This was, say, 10, 12 years ago. And they were fishing at a lake, I believe. And at that lake, like on an island in that lake, I don't remember, or at the coast of that lake, they saw a very large creature walking on 2 legs. And this guy, of course, living in Colorado, going out in nature a lot, and I think he hunted as well. He knew what a bear looks like, and better than any normal bird, probably better than even myself. And what deer and other creatures in these mountains look like. so he would know if it was different. And even though black bears are known to be able to walk on two legs for a good distance, still, you can see the structure quite obviously. But he saw it well enough to convince him enough that it was something like that. When I heard that, I was more intrigued by, again, UFOs, aliens, stuff like that, since my childhood of starting to read about this. But when I heard this story from somebody that I don't even really know, and I'm not gonna see again, and learning at least in those few hours that he's not a compulsive liar or something, it honestly quite intrigued me and impacted my opinion of the whole Bigfoot phenomenon. So that's my account. I always try to share an account if I have something related to the cryptid that I discuss in the video. This is the one for Bigfoot. It's not strong, but it's decently strong for me. That's why I said previously, as evidence, it's good to talk to people, to learn that way. It's not something you can convince everybody else, but you can convince yourself or enough to develop an interest in it. That's why I say you gotta go out, look for yourself, and also talk to people. If you're really interested in this stuff, you have to get out. If I were to ask someone if they believe in Sasquatch who hasn't experienced one, then if they were of rational or somewhat researched mind on the topic, I would certainly not expect a black or white answer. Therefore, that's where I stand. The topic is a phenomenon, without evidence to neither prove it or disprove of such a creature existing here. I myself look at the knowledge of animals and how many could still be undiscovered. How many types were discovered to be indigenous to tiny areas. I would say there being a real Sasquatch out there is very possible, but no matter how much I would love it to be so, I cannot let naivety to impact my emotional and rational mind. I have met very intelligent people, extremely high IQs, whatever, that would nothing but shrug off such a topic as this, and then I met others that would embrace it. Personally, I believe, as with a lot of these strange topics, that if a person put at least 3 days of research into any of these strange phenomena type topics, they would come out not believers, but certainly more interested. I'm talking about real research, your own investigations, etc. Not just following up on the top listed cases or footage of the phenomena online and then concluding its research with Wikipedia's ultimate answers. That research doesn't do much to fuel my passion and believe in these matters, and so I wouldn't trust it for other critical thinkers either. And so now the big question and answer. The answer that you probably want to know if you've been watching my videos for a while is, do I believe in Sasquatch and Bigfoot and Yeti? Do I believe there could be a creature like this out there? I do believe that some people out there genuinely saw something they couldn't understand, something that closely resembles Sasquatch and their knowledge and their gallery of ideas and images. Unexciting as that answer is, I also have that passion for sharing knowledge about animals with people, because what saddens me is not the disbelief in Sasquatch out there, but the lack of understanding or education of animals. How can the general public be ready for such a groundbreaking new species if they cannot understand the typical behavior of a snake, an alligator, or a bear, or even their own dog? Because of my own observations, I do believe that a lot of Sasquatch encounters are with animals that people simply misrecognize or exaggerate. Just as I said with a small snake being called a giant snake. I've seen the same with spiders, especially with people that have arachnophobia. And so this is why I find the accounts where ex-hunters or hunters share these experiences quite intriguing. I think if I wouldn't have done my own research, and I mean away from books, away from the internet, actually going out and talking and exploring for myself and being face to face with people that genuinely believe they saw what they saw, I would have been much more nonchalant on the topic and more on the mindset that we have already explored so much of the land that I couldn't see myself believing such a large creature could still exist out there for so long without being found. And that's sort of the common mindset with Sasquatch, which kind of corresponds with that mindset of disbelief in aliens and UFOs, saying that they can't see something traveling that far just to fly in our sky a little bit. But people miss the other possibilities of these creatures and what they can be and where they have been the whole time. And that's because people lacking looking at other possibilities until something strong hits our research or life on this earth that bumps different ways of thinking in. But the general mindset is not very out of the box. Over the years, growing up, doing various research and living in various countries, I have also developed a distrust in government and many large establishments, including religions. I would probably even say that I believe it would be more dangerous for you to discover an alien or Sasquatch and report it to officials than perform a large-scale robbery. Imagine the possible religious drama if Sasquatch were discovered and tested to be part of our evolution. How much money the poor Vatican would lose. Or if Sasquatch were discovered to be an advanced being beyond most comprehension, just as with aliens. If that realization were to suddenly hit the people of Earth, it would be dramatic, to put it lightly. As Tommy Lee Jones put it in Men in Black, the person is smart. You can tell your friend or even your mother of something strange and explain it to them, blending into their comprehension. But the people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. And now for another great big question. Should Sasquatch be revealed? Should people know about him? Many people believe that he shouldn't be revealed. My answer is it depends on what Sasquatch truly is. Personally, I would be satisfied knowing of its truth, and then again, depending on what it was, I would take further steps on impacting the public in that particular direction. Whether it would be in spirituality and saving the trees, or helping to prove the theory of evolution, whatever that direction would be, as long as it would be truthful and good. And what do you think? Let me know. And now for a lighter side of things, let's take a look at some movies or recommended movies on Sasquatch, as there are so many. Let me start with these, or movies that feature Sasquatch. Actually, maybe instead of listing movie, I should list documentaries, but those can be so hard to track, and being on YouTube, I'm sure you can find interesting ones right on the sidebar here. So let's begin with some earlier ones. We have 1957, The Abominable Snowman. Then we have 1972, The Legend of Boggy Creek, a documentary-style movie. Then we have Sasquatch, The Legend of Bigfoot, 1976. And do I really have to mention Harry and the Hendersons? During this age of movies and later, most become badly directed, written, and or designed horror movies. Just Google Sasquatch movies and you'll see a list. But to save you a moment, here are the top Bigfoot movies you can find out there according to quite a few lists out there. Abominable, 2006. I watched this one recently, and I felt the acting wasn't too bad. Certainly not as bad as with many Sasquatch movies. There's certainly an interesting situation in the movie. It was enjoyable. I only wish the Sasquatch's face was done better. Bigfoot the Movie, 2015. Willow Creek, 2013. Exists, 2014. The Wild Man of Navidad, 2008. Bigfoot, The Lost Coast Tapes, 2012. Letter from the Big Man, 2011. Love in the Time of Monsters, 2014. In Search of... Bigfoot, 1976. The Creature from Black Lake, 1976. Southern Fried Bigfoot, 2008. Snow Beast, 1977. Valley of the Sasquatch, 2015. Pursuit of a Legend, 2010. And you are most welcome to share great Bigfoot movies you've seen that I haven't listed on here down below, or also let me know which ones of these you did enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an episode to get many beginner enthusiasts started on the great search of Sasquatch, or to serve as a quick resource for mid to advanced researchers, as well as material for deeper questioning on this matter. And please, if I made a mistake with such as a name, or I missed an important account that I should have mentioned some evidence, some cases, or I got my facts wrong, please let me know down below. And if you've ever experienced something squatchy, again, please share with us. Comment down below or private message me if you want to stay anonymous. You can do so by going to the About tab at the channel homepage, and you can find the link to private message me there. All in all, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I believe it was my most researched yet. Please do let me know what mysterious creature you would like me to discuss next in this Cryptozoology playlist. And know that you can find me on Facebook, You can chat with me there. I'm also on Instagram. I share my artwork and creature pictures over there. You can also chat with me there. I also update and sometimes do quick live videos on there. So it's a great place to connect with me. And I think that's about it. So until next time, you've been watching pretty much all about everything you ever wanted to know about Bigfoot. Only here at the World of Monsters.